Ready?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We're on.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Chelsea. And this
And
is Mom Needs a Minute.
there we go. And we're back with, oh gosh, what is this, Chelsea?
9.
Episode 9. Oh, so we're almost at double digits.
Heck yeah, look at us go.
Nice. Nice.
Go.
That's really fun. I like telling all of my stories. Or I like having a captive audience that I can tell all of these things that like itch my brain to, and you can't go anywhere. You're stuck here.
I mean, I could leave.
But you won't.
I know. Oh man. Okay, why do you need a minute?
Well, immediately before, like literally, I got your email about the like link for our recording thing as I was standing out on my deck out here because as soon as I had everything kind of like plugged in, ready to go, Mav ate shit off his bike. He's totally fine. But he was like legitimately just right outside my door. You know how he is, just screaming off the top of his head.
Oh yeah, his high-pitched girly screaming when he thinks he's dying.
Yeah.
Nolan has
So he has a tiny little scratch. He's totally fine. They've been riding like their bikes, and now our driveway is all gravel. So learning how to drive it on gravel is a little different for them, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was that. Oh, and then I thought I lost Myrtle today. Okay, so last night we're sleeping and I thought I was dreaming, and I texted Patrick today. I said, "Hey, was this a dream or did this actually happen?" And he goes, "Yeah, you weren't dreaming." And I was like, "Oh, okay." That's actually what I was afraid of what you were going to say. Like, so Myrtle caught a mouse last night in our bedroom.
Stop.
Yep.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
So she caught a mouse last night in our bedroom, and I thought I was dreaming. Because I distinctly remember talking to Patrick, but I was certainly not awake. So I thought it was a dream, and it wasn't, apparently, which he told me today. And
Did he deal with the mouse?
I was unconscious. Yes, he dealt with it. Yes, he dealt with it.
He was probably hoping that you wouldn't even notice at all.
I literally just went, okay. And I was unconscious. I remember talking to him in the most minimal way possible. Is the noise that I'm pretty sure I made. Like, that's it. And then I went, oh, okay. And just fell back to sleep. But then I couldn't decide if I thought it was a dream or not. Because I was so sleepy still.
Sleepy.
And then I woke up this morning and she was in bed with me because she always is. And it's not unusual to not see her a lot during the day. But by 10:15, I was like, I have not seen from her or heard from her one time, and I had been up in my room twice, like to put my contacts and stuff in, and then to get dressed and whatever and ready for like work and whatever, and I hadn't seen her. She still wasn't laying on my bed. And I was like, okay, maybe she got locked in the basement, but I really have to go to work. So I opened the basement door so that she could, if she was locked down in the basement, then she could make her way up. Easy peasy, no problem. But I didn't have time to actually check the basement. And so then when after I got done with work, I waited for the boys and we came home, and she basically dive bombed the boys from outside because she had been outside from God knows when to about 4:00 when we got home.
Stop. How did she get outside?
I have no idea.
That is so weird.
Mhm. Yeah, I have no idea how she got out there because,
Where
like, I didn't like, sometimes I'll have to, like, double check, make sure the boys have a door closed or something, but I didn't have to do any of that today, so I don't have any idea.
weird.
Right?
She's one that you would notice going by too. I mean, she wouldn't just I don't think she'd run past somebody either.
Oh, she, like, dive bombed the boys the second the door opened when we got home. Like, they were letting themselves into the house, and she was
Yeah.
like, "No, me first, thank you."
But that's what I'm saying though, like on the way out though, there's no way that she just like pieced out and ran past anybody.
No, absolutely not. I'm wondering, though, if maybe it didn't have like, if she didn't maybe get into the garage
Ooh,
somehow
maybe.
and take a little sneak. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
like, it was one of those moments that you were like, "Oh," well, somebody was like, "I just gonna leave the door open because it's a quick in and out situation." And maybe
mhm.
I mean, she's sneaky. She's
She
not
is sneaky,
but she's also very timid.
but she wouldn't sneak
Mhm.
past you. She's
Yeah.
very sneaky, but she would never try to sneak
No.
past you.
No.
Not in a million years.
I want that's just so weird of her, though.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a big homebody. She
She
is.
is, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so I think she maybe learned a pretty important lesson today. Don't do that because you're going to be left outside for hours.
With all these strange cats and creatures.
Yeah. Yeah, because we have at least two farm cats that make their appearance known.
Yeah.
Microwave sees into your soul. He sees into your soul. We have a daily wage that we pay him for rodent control. Although we should probably start paying him less if they're in my bedroom.
I mean,
I'm just kidding.
it
Listen,
also has
we live in a pretty old
yeah,
farmhouse.
you
If
do.
this is the first mouse we've found in 6 weeks, I'm pretty it. I
Yeah.
can, and we have Myrtle the Destroyer on our side. So I mean, really.
Who knows where she actually found the mouse?
Oh, it was like, I think, as far as what Patrick was explaining and what I kind of remember, she was like running, chasing it through our bedroom, like through our closet, through under all of my stuff. Yeah. And you could hear her like,
She could have chased it from somewhere else though and just chased it into your room.
where else does she go?
I'm just giving ideas here.
Yeah. No. She doesn't. Yeah. No, it somehow must have managed to get its way into our bedroom and she went, "No. This is my room. Out, out, out. Goodbye."
Huh.
Okay. Yeah. So,
That's
Chels,
probably the what?
why do you need a moment?
Hmm. You see here. I
Oh,
got
hold on. I have one more. I have one more. I'm
okay,
sorry.
good. I listed all mine, so I won't forget them.
Oh God. My
Uh,
lock button fell out of my car. Yeah.
it happens all the time though, right?
Apparently. Yeah, no, I don't know. I like opened my car door. I
Hmm.
turned over to my passenger seat to grab my bag and I turned back and it's like just dangling out and I was like, am I able to lock my car still? Am I going to get into it after work? Like uh what just happened? I didn't do anything. What just happened? So my lock thing still works, but it fell out of my car door.
Judging by the fact that she's saying lock thing, it tells you how much we know about vehicles.
I'm so
Nothing.
good at cars. I'm so good at cars.
Mhm. I don't even like
The
putting
little
gas in
buttons
my
still work
car.
though. The buttons still work. I can still use the buttons to lock and unlock my car.
They're all plugged in. It just fell out of your door.
I know, and I can't make it stay. I told Patrick I was gonna like super
No.
glue it in. He goes, absolutely not.
That's what the
And then
dentist told me when I was gonna super glue my tooth back on my retainer.
oh my God.
I forgot about that part of the story. Yeah. Anyway. Oh,
Side note, Patrick found a 2-pack on Amazon for like $8. So
well, how are you gonna get it back on? Wouldn't it just make more sense to super glue the one you have?
no, because apparently it has clips, like so you push it into the thing and it like clips into place.
Oh,
And the clip on mine just broke off.
I definitely would have super glued it, but that's just me.
Uh,
I'm an idiot.
I I panicked and I texted him immediately, so I didn't have an opportunity to make my own fix to it prior to him seeing it, which is probably for the best. But
Yeah,
okay,
definitely.
okay, your turn now. I swear
Oh,
this is I'm all done now. Your turn.
no, you're good. I wrote them all down because I knew I was gonna forget. Okay, so mine are like, for some reason, baby kitty's obsessed with me right now, and I just can't get him to fucking go away.
Oh, Burger
Oh
King.
yeah. He's really fucking cute. You're
He
giant.
is cute.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. He's adorable.
He's the
He's a sweet little Kit Kat.
okay.
Oh,
He
there's
yeah.
his tail.
Until he shoved his butthole on my mic. You
Meow.
nasty. Okay. Besides the fact that this orange creature over here is like trying to invade my bubble. Okay. So like this is mine are way not typical that we talk about. But okay, so like was I think it had to have been this ending of like summer last year. Nolan decided he needed to jump because like his ceiling fan in his room, you have to leave the light switch on, and if you shut the light switch off, the fan shuts off, right? So you have to pull the string to shut the light off. Well, I think last year Nolan was trying to do that and he couldn't reach the string because it was too short, so he would go on his bed and pull it that way. Well, he did it last year and he pulled the whole fucking string out of the fan. So like the fan was broken or whatever. It was broken. So when like the light was on, the fan would turn on,
Mm-hmm.
but it was just super low, thankfully. Um, and there's a point to my story, I promise. But anyway, okay. Anyway, more of the story. We're getting there. I just left it. I just said fuck it because it's gonna be winter and it's gonna be cold, whatever. So then it got really hot this last week, and I'm like, this last weekend I got a wild hair up my ass, and I googled how to fix it.
Okay.
So I took the fan apart. They have broken a light bulb and one of the weird little light bulb cover thingies.
Okay.
It's fine though. It's fine. Anyway, I fixed it.
Good for you. Proud of you.
I know. I'm proud of myself. I fixed it. It works.
Hi, baby.
Oh gosh. Hey, we have both of our orange cats.
No, stay here. Jesus Christ. Okay, she's gone. Never mind. No, no, no. I picked her up. That was my mistake. That was my fault. I never should have.
Two totally different opposite orange cats. Mine's a
Oh yeah,
fucking
everybody's
idiot.
like orange cats are so whatever, and or they're so needy and they're this and that. And I'm like, are we?
I think she wasn't meant to be
This is not the
orange.
same orange cat that I know.
No, yours is like a weird orange cat. Like she's like I think she has all the brain cells actually. Okay,
I don't know
if a
about that.
mouse ran
Okay,
in front of this,
she has more brain cells than BK. She does have
yes,
more brain cells than
ev-
BK. I do agree with that.
everything has more brain cells than BK. What what do you have for me today?
I feel okay, so we were supposed to do an alien abduction case, remember? And the recording just was not working for us, right? And so I have an alien record or I have an alien one for next week, but I have a it's been a second I think since I've done like an actual crime one,
Yeah, it has been.
which which is kind of the whole purpose of like the main premise of our show, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to do another crime one because it's been a minute.
Yep.
So I have a a very fun one for you, okay?
Okay.
It's not very long, but it's a lot of fun. So, travel back with me. 1986.
Okay, that's not that far.
Nope. Nope, just 4 years before I was born.
Yeah, not that bad.
Mm-mm.
Okay, we're getting there.
Um the Detroit General Motors factory closed down 7 different major manufacturing plants within like that Detroit area. Detroit, just Michigan, basically.
Yeah.
The 7 major manufacturing plants. And because of that, thousands and thousands of people became jobless like basically overnight,
Yeah.
right? So thousands of people are now out of work. And what do they turn to?
Drugs.
Crime.
Oh.
Drugs. No, actually, yes, you're onto it. Because when people
Hey.
become desperate, instead of and especially because it's like they have now shut down 7 plants, finding legitimate work for thousands of people is going to be a challenge, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of people to employ without all of that, all of those plants, right?
Yeah.
And when people become desperate, they turn to more nefarious paths, which means drugs. And yeah. So unfortunately, the number of crimes that are drug related skyrocket in the in this area.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, the police department doesn't have the manpower or the financial resources to even begin to combat this like uptick in like drug crimes. And there was going to be absolutely no way they were going to be able to apprehend all the dealers now, the new dealers and all, like there was no way that they were going to be able to make a dent in this new issue here that has been created, right?
Yeah.
All of the people are now without jobs and they're struggling to make ends meet. They're trying to provide for their families. And like, I'm not saying it's okay to deal drugs by any means, but now they've lost their main source of income. And if that's the only way, because it's like I said, if you close 7 manufacturing plants down,
That's like
it
hundreds
and
of jobs.
thousands.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And so filling that and making sure that everybody was able to keep their house and keep their, food on the table and keep doing this, like that's really hard to do, right? And
Yeah.
so because of that though, there's no way that the police department in Michigan here is going to be able to like control the drug related crimes.
Yeah.
So now they have to get um they have to get creative, right?
Yeah. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll create.
Yeah, they gotta like it's real funny you say that. They gotta get creative in order to, if they want to start to decrease the drug activity, they have to get creative because they don't have the resources to actually effectively combat it, right?
Yeah.
So now they're like, okay, what the hell are we gonna do here? So enter stage left. Lacey Moon Brown. Brown had been in the Marines and he had been discharged due to misconduct, and actually he was facing jail time. But instead of that, he entered the actual police force. And honestly, I don't know how this happened. This is just the resources that I had. That's what it says. I don't know why he was being discharged or almost, you know, being looked at for misconduct. I don't know what he had done. I don't know how much jail time he had done. I don't know any of that. I couldn't find it. Um, but he entered the actual police force here in like Flint, Michigan.
Okay.
And so now they're all like sitting here being like, okay, how are we going to get crime, the drug crimes kind of under control without having any resources and anything like this. And Moon here goes, "Hey, I know what we should do."
Okay.
And now he has pitched a plan because he had been okay. So he pitches this plan to them because he has been involved in something similar previously and whatever. And he's like, "Hey, if this worked last time, we can make it work this time, right?"
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, so he tells the police department that at one point he had been involved in a plan that had worked out really well. And at one point he had helped orchestrate a pretend funeral.
Funeral. How?
A pretend funeral, yeah. So, so the cops had ended up arresting at this time. The cops had ended up arresting a well-known gang member and dealer in the area. And then after this arrest, they decided to announce this dealer. Uh, they announced his death.
Oh, is that the funeral?
Um,
Okay.
yeah, to my knowledge, this dealer, this person, was not actually dead. Didn't die, at all. Like they were like, "Oh my gosh, he died in police custody." And so then they put an announcement in the paper and then they held a fake funeral and wake for them and then arrested all of the dealers that had come to mourn.
That's genius.
Mhm. Yeah. Um and so Moon goes, "Hey, this worked that time. I bet we can do something similar, get a big chunk of people off the streets." So they used this funeral to arrest a whole bunch of people without taking up a ton of manpower, hours, resources, right? Because they gathered them all in one place. And so Moon is like, "Hey, we can do this again." And so the police force goes, "Dude's got an idea here." And they decide they can pull a similar scheme because obviously they can't do the same thing, right? Too obvious.
Yeah.
But they come up with a different plan. So instead of a funeral, they decide to make it a wedding.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Hold on. Back up. Speaking of wedding, kind of. How was your anniversary?
Fine, we didn't do much.
Oh, okay. I was
I
expecting a
mean,
better answer.
we really didn't do anything.
Oh.
Um, we came into town and we had dinner, and then we brought but we had the boys with us, and then we came home, and the boys went to bed, and then we went to have some drinks at the bar closer to our house.
Oh, okay. Okay, well,
And then we came home. We didn't really do much. We're
sometimes it's
getting too old
nice.
for that.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't mean it like that, but I get it.
No, we're just getting too old for it.
I feel it.
We only focus on the like the milestone ones. You know,
Okay, 11 fucking years though.
yeah. 10, we went to Europe. I don't think I can ask for that for 11 also.
I would.
I mean, I can ask all I want to. I don't think it's going to get me anywhere.
Exactly. Never said that if I ask, I'm gonna get it. I'm just gonna ask.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, we didn't really do anything. We
Oh,
didn't do anything. Like just kind of hung out.
okay then.
Um yeah, it was kind of nice. We were just quiet at home, calm. I need to see a picture of your shirt later. Is that Donald Trump?
It is.
Okay. I need you to send me a picture of it later. I need to see it.
Life.
What does it say?
Dog is life.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It has Morgan Wallen, Cole Westphal, Donald Trump.
Oh my god.
TikTok fine. Anyway. Okay.
All people that belong in jail. Got it. All right. So it is decided that we're going to celebrate a wedding instead of a funeral.
Okay.
And Brown Moon is going to be the groom, and Deborah Williams is going to be the bride. And she is a 38-year-old Flint, Michigan police officer, and she is perfect for the bride here. Okay, she's good at her job. She is years of experience. Like they're like, that's it. She's going to be perfect for this,
Yeah.
right? So then in 1990, Lacey Brown, I'm going to call him Brown, and Debbie go undercover. Okay. They're
Okay.
officially undercover. And they spend roughly 5 months undercover. So during this 5 months, they buy drugs that are including cocaine, marijuana, LSD, prescription pills, God knows what else, right?
Yeah.
From 50 some odd dealers or more. So they're making a ton of that, like they're buying a lot from these people, right?
Yeah. That's aggressive.
Okay, well, they have to, right? You have to make the connections if you're trying to get a bunch of them off the street.
Oh yeah, I know, I get that, but that's a
You
lot.
have to make a lot of connections.
Yeah.
It's 5 months. I don't know. Either way. So they rename Debbie Williams to Debbie Leno,
Okay.
and she is now the daughter of a gangster named Fast Eddie. Fast Eddie is being played by the former police chief, Ed Boyce. So, then Brown becomes Debbie's boyfriend, Danny, and Danny is okay. So I saw this is confusing to me because I saw it one way with he was a major dealer, but then everything else makes me believe that he was buying instead of selling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So from how I was understanding it was like maybe Debbie was the one buying and he was the one selling so that people were buying from him so that they could get him on that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a double, like, yeah.
But I did only see it in one source that he was a quote major dealer. So I don't know. They both absolutely could have been buyers and nothing else. So
Yeah.
either way, one of the things that they were afraid of was that defense attorneys here were going to be able to claim entrapment by the police department. Um, Stings like this are always kind of like on that border of like, is it okay or is it not? Right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That makes sense though.
Yeah. And so they were really, really trying to be very careful with how they like proceeded throughout the entire sting operation here where they're undercover for 5 months. They're being very, very careful to make it so none of the defense attorneys can claim entrapment by any of them.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, entrapment is the quote conception and planning of an offense by an officer or agent and the procurement of its commission by one who would not have perpetrated it except for the trickery, persuasion, or fraud of the officer.
Hmm.
So it's the officer can't be like, hey, here, buy my drugs, buy my drugs, buy my drugs, and forcing them to do that or whatever, right?
Yeah.
They have to make it very, very clear that the person that they're dealing with would commit that crime regardless, one way or the other.
Yeah.
It can't look like the officer is like, hey, sell me that, right? They have to be more like, it has to be more natural, essentially, I
Yeah. It
think.
they have to be. confronted. Like it has to be a hey, do you got anything kind of situation versus you have
Yeah,
this.
whereas yeah. Yeah, so if you were like say in possession, it wouldn't be like handing it like the officer handing it over to somebody and they're being like you're under arrest cuz you have possession of this and they're like
Yeah.
you gave it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were trying to be very very careful of making sure that these guys the dealers they're trying to get um could not use that as an like as a defense.
Yeah.
So they're being real careful. And they are having daily meetings within the police department for 5 months. Daily meetings to make sure that every single day went as it should. They're not missing anything. They're doing what they need to do to not have this entrapment thing holding, like hovering over them, right? They end up buying more than 163 times from more than 50 dealers while they're undercover and collecting all this evidence. So they're making a lot of buys and making a lot of connections while they're collecting this evidence, right?
Yeah.
So they're undercover. They're making all the connections that they need to make this sting work. And the police department, like I said, is having daily meetings about how they think it's going and if they need to readjust something or, whatever. And now they start planning this wedding because they really lean into this and it's amazing. Eventually, Danny Brown, I don't know if I actually said his name. Oh yeah,
Yeah, you did.
Brown is now Danny.
Yeah.
Okay. So eventually, Danny proposes to Debbie, and wow, wouldn't you know it? She says yes. What a shock, right?
Oh, didn't see that coming.
Um, I know. I'm so excited for them.
Heck yeah.
Um, Debbie starts making her plans with all of her new friends, right? She's asking their opinions on she's asking their opinions on her like wedding plans, right? Her new friends.
Yeah. Well,
I know, but so she's asking her new friends their opinions, right? On do you like this one or this one better? Stuff like that. Um in reality though, planning is basically taking over the entire police department at this point. Um the department, Danny and Debbie have sent out actual invitations, come up with floral arrangements. They've handmade centerpieces out of beer bottles they've confiscated. They have like a full food menu. They have seating arrangements. It is even down to what Debbie's hair is going to look like on her wedding day.
confiscate beer.
I don't know, from teenagers or something. I suppose they probably drank it and then put it back. I don't know.
I don't ever remember alcohol being confiscated.
Oh, I do.
Really? They took it?
Hmm.
Huh. Maybe I missed that part. I was sober, so I think I just left. Hmm. Weird. Okay, I didn't know that was a thing.
I like that that's the part that you focused on.
But,
Not the fact that they have detailed every single minuscule thing down to Debbie's bridal hair.
yeah, I was kind of focused on that part because my first wedding, I didn't plan any of it. So they put more into their fake wedding than I did to an actual wedding.
They put so much effort into this damn thing.
Yeah, I'm not.
So Debbie goes to Salvation Army and buys her dress for $17,
Heck yeah, that's my kind of dress.
right?
Catch me doing
And it comes with right? And it actually like the pictures, she actually looks really cute. Um and it comes with a garter, right? Like the garter for her leg that just so happens to be perfect to stash her 38 caliber handgun.
I have that too. Yeah.
Okay, well. So Debbie is even quoted as saying, quote, "It felt like it was the real thing. I was nervous and really excited," end quote. Because they were doing so much planning for this that she was starting to feel like it was like the real thing, right? Because they were really planning.
Wow. I mean, that is like
Uh-huh.
one way to like be married but not married. Huh.
Mhm.
Good idea.
Right? So Brown's wife in real life, his real wife, was actually the maid of honor and helped Debbie pick out her dress.
Heck
Yep.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Ah,
The other wedding
oh.
party members, all the other bridesmaids and groomsmen, whatever, were all active and retired officers. Um, the minister, who is also armed, was retired Flint Police Sergeant Mike Parrish, who was now Reverend Billy Ray Hawk, is his new name for this. So invitations are sent out.
They're like a police department playing house. Like an aggressive version of house.
It's gonna
And
get
you play
a lot. It's gonna get better.
Oh yeah, there's drugs involved. I mean, when I played house as a child, there was no drugs.
Yeah.
There's probably
Well, that's
alcohol, but not
as a
real alcohol.
child. What were you? I was gonna say, what were you? 6, drinking wine, grape
Well,
juice.
on it, it was actually I don't know, but I know that we knew what alcohol was, and I knew that we knew, yeah,
Okay. Well,
there's no drugs.
these are all adults. I would hope not.
You never know.
So remember, I said Debbie has her now father, Fast Eddie, the former gangster or the gangster, her
Yeah,
gangster father,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Who is former Flint
Yep.
Police Chief Ed Boyce. He pulls up to the ceremony in like this shitty RV with
Heck
Florida
yeah.
plates. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, this thing is falling apart and it has Florida plates. And he's like, "Yeah, I came from Florida." And they're in Chicago or Detroit, sorry. Detroit, Flint. They're in Michigan. Okay. He comes from Florida. So supposedly. Um, Also, before this whole thing started, right? And I didn't know where else to put this in the story, but I thought it was really cute and I thought it deserved to say. Um, Brown's son in real life left him a note that the morning of the sting, written in crayon that said, "Be careful, Daddy."
Oh my God.
And I just thought that was the cutest dang thing on the planet. I didn't know where else to put it.
Oh, and I love that it's written in crayon, not even like a random pen. It's like just crayon.
I know, it's just the sweetest little thing. I didn't know where else to put that, I guess. But
If Nolan were to write me a letter like that, he'd probably just write it in permanent marker on the wall.
Mom, you're fine. That's the note I would get. Mom, you're
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Yeah. No,
Hmm.
so Brown's, Danny's son in real life, left him that little note that said, "Be careful, Daddy," and written in crayon. And I was just like, that is
That's so cute.
gonna make me cry. That's so cute. Um, Everybody was okay. Okay. So his little note worked.
Good.
We're gonna give it to the little note in crayon. Everybody was okay for like okay. So Fast Eddie, Debbie's gangster father, shows up in this shitty RV from Florida. He pulls up outside the venue. Okay. And he's sitting there. He is telling all the guests, all these dealer friends, to leave their weapons either at the door or in their car. Because, you know, he is a high ranking gangster and he cannot have anything ruin his daughter's special day. So your gun stays in the car or it stays at the door. He's really thinking here.
He is.
Because if they leave them either way, if they leave them in the car or at the door, now after the roundup, now we have a lot of evidence here with your weapons,
Oh, yeah.
and we have access to all of it. So, he cannot, he cannot and will not accept anybody ruining his daughter's special day. You have to leave your weapons by the door or in your car. And everybody is like, okay, all right. Sounds great to me. Makes sense. Right? Um,
Ain't gonna need these in there.
nope, not at all. So he also, in this RV, he has hundreds of pounds of pot that he's going to sell to the guests. And this is maybe where it gets a little sketchy as far as the entrapment thing goes. But he he is outside in his RV waiting to walk the bride down the aisle. Right? But Danny here is kind of mentioning it to some of the other dealers. He's like, hey, if you go out to that RV, pretty sure my new father-in-law has some stuff in there that you might be interested in, right? So a couple of them wander out to the RV in order to buy these bricks of pot.
Out of all kinds of drugs, though, they chose pot.
I mean, it's better than LSD, I guess.
I know, I guess. I mean, it's probably easiest drug to get your hands on.
Yeah, because
So
this
it's
is like
probably
1990. This is 1990. I'd say pot is probably your best bet, honestly.
yeah, and yeah, I suppose. And it was easier to find, easier to
Yeah.
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 And it
So
wasn't as sketchy. I mean, if you're gonna go buy coke out of a fucking RV.
that's true. Yeah.
If somebody walked up to me and said, so and so has pot in that Florida sketchy RV over there, I'd
This
probably go.
RV has pot and this one has cocaine. Pick one. Okay. Pot it is, I guess. Yeah.
Pot it
Um,
is.
yeah. So Danny Brown, Danny
Yeah.
is mentioning to some of his friends that, maybe my new father-in-law has something out in the RV that you might be interested in. Maybe just wander out there and see, hint, hint, what's out there, right?
Mhm.
And so before the ceremony even started, they made 7 arrests and gathered roughly $86,000
86.
before the ceremony. $86,000. Apparently they had really good pot.
Yeah.
So, but obviously they couldn't arrest too many people prior to the ceremony because they didn't want it to be like super
Yeah.
suspicious or anything, right? So they could only grab a couple people, you know, without drawing too much suspicion as to like where all these people are going, right? So they couldn't get too many of them ahead of time. Now, ceremony goes off without a hitch. What a happy, happy, beautiful ceremony for Debbie and Danny. They're married now. They're so in love. And now it's time for the reception, right?
Heck yeah.
So,
The best part.
heck yeah. The reception is the best part.
Mhm.
And it's about to be your favorite. This is about to be your favorite reception. So, this reception is planned so well. Okay.
Okay.
Um, they have a 3-tier cake. 2 out of the 3 tiers are actually cardboard, and it was decorated with blue for the police and bumblebees for the sting.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good one.
Mhm.
I like
Mhm.
that.
Mhm. The wedding band in the yeah, I liked it too. The band, you're gonna like this one even more. the
Like,
band that they had playing, because obviously they had to have an actual live band, right?
no.
Made
But
up of
yes.
officers also. They called themselves SPOC, and they claimed it stood for, quote, somebody protect our crops, claiming to be a marijuana loving group when in reality it's just cops spelled backwards.
I would have sounded that out and like thought of words for so long.
Yeah, it's just cops backwards. So
Wow.
they have their cake. They have their cake, they have their food, they have their live band, they have all of it, right? So now all of the guests have arrived at the reception, and after everybody is into the reception, right? They're like, "Oh, okay, um Fast Eddie didn't sell all of these like bricks a pot. So, we're going to auction them off for $100." So they put these like these bricks of pot on the table, and they start selling them for like $100, right? And all of the guests are having a great goddamn time. They're eating, they're mingling, they're listening to this band play. They got pot.
They're on like literally cloud nine.
Yep, basically. And so
They can
then, yeah, no, go.
they're like spending some quality time with Bob Marley up there.
It is legitimately the perfect reception. Like, as far as this goes, this is the perfect reception. We have music, we have cake, we have drugs, we have all of this stuff. And we're just hanging out,
It's
enjoying,
yeah.
especially because like Debbie and Danny spent the last 6 months developing friendships with these people. So I'm sure these people were all just really excited to see their friends happy and getting married and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, give these two a friggin' Oscar.
Something.
Oscar? I don't know which one of these awards it is anymore. Anyways, give him an award. So then a few minutes after 8:20 in the evening, the band finishes playing a lively rendition of the rock and roll oldie I Fought the Law and the Law Won. And now this song was a sign to trigger the bust, right? This is what's
Boys.
I fought the law. Yeah, that's not what
No.
it was, but no, I know. No, yeah, this song. Obviously, could you think of a better song
Yeah.
to trigger a
Bad
bust?
boys. What you gonna
Okay.
do?
I fought the law and the law won.
Ah, yeah, that was the second good one.
Okay. Either way.
Yeah.
So, as soon as the band finishes playing that song, one of the officers in the crowd, which is also, a guest at the wedding, stands up and says, "Let's have some fun. Everybody here that's a cop, stand up. All the rest of you motherfuckers, put your hand on the table because you're under arrest. This is a bust." So then the bride grabs her
That
gun
is
from her garter. The
awesome.
groom is like pointing out people in the thing, like that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. The cops that are in the um that are the guests, the cops that are like part of the band, they all start grabbing people and arresting them, handcuffing them, taking them out. And the dealers were watching this, right? They're all watching this. And even after this, some of them are being put into handcuffs. And all of them are like so stunned that they had to repeatedly be told that this is not a joke and you are actually under arrest because it was their wedding was so convincing.
I mean, hey, nobody got to eat it. Did they get to smoke any of the weed?
Right? Right? Um
They're
it
all
is
fucking token up
there
after
is
the
like
bust.
no evidence, like I couldn't find like the actual conviction rates and stuff, so I don't really know how many of them actually spent time in jail or like really what happened to them. I couldn't find any names or anything like that, right? So either way, that night, Lacey, Moon, Brown, Danny, retired after 18 years on the force, and then they used the wedding food as his retirement party food. Moon has stated it wasn't fun, it was just good police work. Fair enough. That was good police work. If it's so convincing,
Okay, it was fun
well,
too.
right. Yeah, you had fun with that. But it was good police work if you have had them so desperately convinced that you had to tell them multiple times that no, you're actually under arrest. I think that's good police work. Top notch, man.
It's great, but
Mm-hmm.
huh. I the fact they had to convince them that they were actually being arrested. How many weddings have you gone to when they had fake bus?
How many weddings have you gone to that are just full of your drug dealer friends? And you know that it's probably like, you know, it's probably a joke that they have within yourself or within themselves, right? All right. Okay, so we're back. We had some technical internet issues last night, and I'm really, really hoping we don't tonight because
We made some
the weather at
adjustments.
the weather at my house is looking like it might want to try to attack my internet. So, fingers crossed that we can get through this time.
Considering last night we didn't have a storm and it still decided to attack both of our internets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Patrick said that that's like his project this weekend because he took tomorrow and
Mm,
Tuesday off. And so one of his project because it's Memorial Day,
yeah.
so one of his projects in his like 5-day weekend here is to get my computer hardwired out here so that I can plug it in to the internet versus just trying to go off Wi-Fi.
Oh,
So it shouldn't be a problem over here anymore, at least hopefully soon. Let's start again. They had just finished. I fought the law, and the law won. All of the cops or one of the officers stood up and said, "Let's have some fun. Everybody in here that's a cop, stand up. All the rest of you motherfuckers, put your hands on the table because you're under arrest." Right?
yep.
They've arrested all of these other people, right? So I couldn't find the conviction rates of the people that they did arrest that day. Um, However, either way, that night, Lacey Moon Brown retired after 18 years on the force, and they used all the wedding food as his retirement party food. So, like, way to plan, okay? Waste not, want not, I guess.
Too bad they didn't have a full three-tier cake. To be eating some cardboard.
Maybe they've got like cupcakes or something in the back. I don't know.
Well, maybe.
That's a good point, though. I mean, if I was going to have a retirement party, if I knew it was going to be my retirement party and I was going to eat all this stuff, I want a full cake. I don't want
Right?
2 out of 3 tiers to be cardboard. That's a good point. That's a good point.
However,
Um,
cake sucks anyway, but still.
no, wedding cake is
Mm,
the cake. That's the cake. Yeah.
tea cake.
If you're gonna have a cake, it's wedding cake.
Mm,
1000%.
okay.
So,
I'll let you eat that.
um, at, it's like the one cake that I will eat a lot of. Um, at his retirement party, he was quoted as saying, "It wasn't fun. It was just good police work," which I agree with. I think that they had really good police work there, getting everything situated, really going, playing the long game here to get everything situated, getting all the, like, befriending all the dealers, befriending all these people, really, like, really playing through with their whole heart, you know?
Did they say anything about how long it took to like that whole process, getting to know these big drug dealers and making friends and getting them to trust them?
Th- Debbie and Moon were undercover for 5 months. So, yeah. And then it took them longer, like prior to that, to set everything up, you know? So it doesn't say necessarily how long it took them before they went undercover, but I would say like 6 or 7 months total minimum, probably.
That's
to
not
get
as long as
everything
I
like
thought.
situated. And
Hmm,
it's almost, yeah. I mean, it's a good length of time to really commit to the bit, though.
seriously.
Yeah. So they were undercover, making friends with all of these people for 5 months,
Huh.
which is a long time.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, ugh, they had to like purposely make friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
Really though,
God.
and they had to like make all of these people like trust them to the point
Yeah.
where, hey, we're actually good enough friends. Please come to my wedding. We would love to have you there.
You'll get
Or
special
them to be
snacks.
excited or to get it, yeah, or to, yeah, or to get excited, like, can you help me pick out, what do you think I should do my hair like? Or, you and your boyfriend, you know what I mean? Like, they were making their friends a part of the planning, quote unquote, planning. So they had to make it so that they were in a close enough relationship with these people to make it not suspicious. Like, hey, we're getting married next week. I know I just met you today, but why don't you come to it? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Mm,
Yeah. So as far as I can tell, it was about 5 months that they were actually undercover.
o- Okay.
hmm
All right.
Fun fact, though, I saw in a couple sources that Lacey Brown's nickname Moon is because he likes to moon people during busts, which I thought was hilarious.
I'm so sad he's probably dead now.
This was in 1990.
Okay, but he was how old then?
They were like in their 30s, so 60s, 70s.
Okay, that's fair. I can't math.
I don't know.
Maybe I should look
Um,
him up. Get to know him.
no, don't. I mean, you can in a little bit.
Oh
Okay.
shoot.
So once,
Stop.
no, no, I just have like a little bit more of my story left, and I don't want you to like look anything up before I finish the story. You can
Oh,
look up
okay.
whatever you want after I'm
I was
done.
like, don't break
I just
my
don't want you to look.
heart.
I don't want you to look up anything like while I'm telling the story and
Okay.
ruining it.
Okay, I got it. I got it.
Yeah. Okay. So once everything was kind of calming back down that night, everybody's like, all the dealers are taken to the jail. They're all arrested. They're whatever. Lacey Moon's, Brown's stuff, his retirement, whatever, right?
Had a party
Everybody's
and then a
kind of like,
party.
well, yeah, and it's like just kind of like everything is kind of like winding down for the evening, right?
Yeah.
So Debbie, the bride, walks into they had like a mobile home slash command post thing, right? Where the other officers were like hanging out, kind of watching how things were going, making sure that everything was going okay and whatever. So they had this like command post, right?
Yep.
So Debbie, after the whole chaos of the arrests and stuff, walks into the command post where Maurice, Vic, why Weish, nope, Washlshin. Hold on. Okay. Waylylshyn.
Nah.
Washl
No.
Washlishin.
No. There's no was there an H?
Was no, it's S
YZ
Y WAS
Y.
YZ
Y.
WASYLYSHYN. There's a
Maybe,
lot of Y's.
maybe everything after the WAS is silent, so it's just was.
Okay. Okay. So Vic here,
There we go. Perfect.
who was a sergeant with the Shawaha, fuck me up, Shiwa,
Mm.
Shiawase, got it, Shiawase
There you
County.
go.
He had been watching he had been in the command post watching the whole thing on surveillance just to make sure everything kind of went as they were planning it to, right? So he was in this command post, keeping an eye on things. So she walks in while she was still in her wedding dress, and he said that as soon as she walked in to the command post in her dress, he fell in love, like love at first sight. And then they got married a year later in October of 1991. Is that not just the sweetest thing?
It is.
I know, my heart melted a little bit when because he was like from what I was reading, it was like he was like she came in just kind of like finishing up duties, like walking in to kind of chat with how the other officers, how everything went, and he, I guess, said, "Yeah, I was like love at first sight," and I was like, "Done deal. I love her. I need to get to know her
So,
better."
like, some people get that, and then I get Michael telling me that his type of girls is just ones that like him.
Divorced chicks too, apparently.
Oh, and his coworkers.
In fairness, though, I knew Patrick, or I knew I was going to marry Patrick before I even started dating him, and we were in high school, so I can kind of get it.
Hook, line, and sinker there.
It worked out pretty well so far.
Yeah. Okay.
So I have like just a few final notes. Um, this sting, this whole marriage, wedding sting, is still used in officer training sometimes.
When they have this online,
What online, like video and stuff of it?
like, this story, yeah, like this tactic, like how imagine being a drug dealer and all of a sudden you get invited to your new friend's wedding.
Do you think that they're looking up? Well, maybe I guess. Do you think that they're actually looking up like common police sting tactics?
Maybe if you're like a high, like big drug dealer, there's no way they don't know about this.
I don't think that it's used as training as a like step by step, step one, step two, step this is exactly what you're going to do. I think that it is more so used as training for like, okay, this is what worked in this. Yeah, this is where it worked in this situation. What can you pull from this incident or this sting to help you in whatever situation that you guys are trying to create? You know what I mean?
How to.
Yeah, so I think that they're just using, say, like the tactics or like how they were making it look very realistic, or the ways that Debbie and Brown were like befriending all of these people, what they were doing while they were undercover, kind of like I think it's just like tips and tricks versus like step one, step two, step three, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that would be my thought though. But yeah, so it is still used in trainings sometimes when it comes to um yeah, like officers and stuff, which I think is kind of cool because I'm not going to lie. This uh sting is just so much fun for me. I think it's very funny,
I would like I would love to be just a spectator.
right?
Just a fucking bird flying
I want to
around
be a
and just
fly on that
watching all of it
wall.
go down.
I want to be a fly on that wall.
Mm.
Remember in Michael Malloy when we were saying that we wanted to just be the fly on the wall every single time they opened up the bar again, he was just sleeping on the floor and they just get more and more angry. This is kind of
Yeah.
the same situation where I'm so curious to see what they were doing, like how they were handling what was happening.
So I like between that and actually seeing like the setup and
Mhm.
like
Like
all the
the
wedding
build up
stuff.
to it. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially since like
Yeah.
the police department was like using like most of their resources were now going to planning this wedding and making it seem as realistic as possible. Like the long game, the dedication, just the commitment, like I think it's all very, very
It
impressive.
is. I mean, it obviously gave them like a small kind of break from their typical work environment.
Mhm.
but they still got the job
Yeah.
done.
And well, that and like with whatever else was like going on, because obviously after having all those factories closed, and having so many people lose their jobs and stuff, like they had to also like the police department also had to adjust, you know, in order to make a in order to like figure out how to combat it.
Yeah.
So I thought it was I think it was very like very clever.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's super smart. Like somebody just had to literally like sit down and be like, how can we gather all these people together? Yeah, I mean obviously yeah, other than the funeral situation, but
I mean, that worked too.
yeah, that did work, but it wasn't as big as a wedding. Who sits there and sends out a funeral invite?
I had to make a lot of phone calls.
Okay, but that's not like a congratulations. Here's the funeral
They were
invite.
phone calls I didn't really want to make, but okay. So I have my last little thing here. Um, Brown Moon, Lacey Moon Brown died in 2006 at the age of 63,
Wasn't that
and he
wasn't that my
hmm Lacey Moon Brown. Yeah,
ruined my
yeah. But I have something else though. As far as I can tell, Vic and Debbie are still living
Okay, well that's good.
completely happy lives,
But I really wanted
like to
Moon
this day. Hmm.
for the sole
Well,
purpose of what he did.
I don't know what to tell you. Hmm. No, yeah. So that is my story. That's all I have. But I figured, this one makes me like just it makes my heart so happy. It's like a crime, like a true crime case, right? But it's not like a crime, like a gruesome crime or something.
It's more of like a that really happened kind of story, you know?
Mhm.
Like a is
Mhm.
it false?
Yeah.
Is it fiction? True is this wait, that
Wait,
was
what
really
just
stupid.
happened? Is
This
this
is
false or fiction? Oh, yeah, something like that.
oh my god, it's
Uh,
been a long week.
no kidding. Yeah, something like that. False or
Ah,
fiction.
yeah.
But yeah,
Um
so that is my story. Yep. So that's what I got.
I like that.
So, um I liked this one too. If you also liked it, dear listeners, join our Patreon. Um Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook at Mom Needs a Minute podcast for both of them,
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
right? And then, so Chelsea's going to add all that. And then our Patreon, we're going to try to start adding more and more to our Patreon too. So
We're
that,
just trying to come up with some stuff.
yeah, so that our uh, patrons, pa- donors, donators,
People who actually like us.
whatever they're called, I don't know. Whatever people who like us, yeah. We're going to try to come up with a couple different little like mini series almost that we do to put on there for our patrons, and then yeah, follow us on Instagram and Facebook. I think that's it. Oh,
Like and
you found one. You
subscribe
did.
our page.
And lots of 5-star reviews.
Only fives.
Only fives. Anything
Yeah.
less.
Don't leave anything mean because I'll cry.
Oh my god. Okay. So thank you for what is this, what number is this now, Chels? Number episode 9.
Still number
All right.
9.
Thank you for listening to 9 episodes of
Hmm.
us so far. next week we get to hit double digits.
I'm like, yeah, hopefully we don't have fucking internet connection issues.
Oh
That
my
would be
God, I know.
lovely. Oof.
No kidding. I know.
Yeah. All right, our little chaos escapees. We're gonna go. There's a
Chaos
storm rolling
escapees. I
in.
like that. Yeah, it looks like it's starting to
Yeah, you got dark.
rain's starting to hit my window here. So
Yep.
yeah. Yep.
Your internet's getting a little glitchy too.
Yep. So
All right.
okay. Well, I will
Until,
talk to you later.
yeah, until next week. Bye.
Bye.